Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're here now with the last match of the evening, where it's going to be a best-of-5 ZVZ final to determine who gets a qualifier spot in the G3 $30,000 Starcraft 2 tournament, a WCS global event. I'm Jarosar, with me is Tetcher, and the countdown has already completed.
Indeed, like you said, WCS Global Event, 750 WCS points available on top of the £30,000 that is up for grabs. Could not get much more hype from this, but for now, let's get into the game. Take it away, Jarosar.
Delicious, delicious points on the line, ladies and gents, for whoever ends up attending the event here. Only one of these players will go on to receive that qualifier invite. The other bows out at this stage. One of them will join Fnatic Zanster. Will it be the Red Zerg player spawning in the bottom right, representing Team Exile 5, one of Southeast Asia's strongest players, and in my mind, arguably underrated. This guy is a boss. He goes by the name of PIG. His opponent spawning in the top left position. Strong in Southeast Asia or not, this guy's pretty strong in Korea, and he recently finished runner-up at DreamHack Bucharest. Undoubtedly the strongest player we've seen so far today, with results to back it up, but he needs to win one more series to take it all the way to the main event. Can he do it? Representing Team Axiom, we have Impact.
Indeed, and like you said, Pig is from Southeast Asia, from Australia, I do believe. Is that correct?
That is indeed correct. He's currently playing from the My Insanity household in Switzerland, where he is visiting while participating in European tournaments. So, exciting times here for him, and we have got the pool coming out initially from Impact. Pig, no such ambition just yet.
Indeed. I have a lot of respect for the Australian players, because we do in fact have an expansion as well as the pool, but I have a lot of respect for the Australian players because, one, their internet in their country isn't the best. It's very similar to the UK in the fact that their government doesn't support it as much as they should. They have video game problems as it is with their government censoring a lot of them, and the fact that they have to deal with what is basically the equivalent of real live Zerg in their country pretty much every day.
Everything does want to kill you. Fun fact, I am Australian. And I know that everything wants to kill you. So yeah, you better watch those jokes, mate.
Stow the flaming crows, mate. Dingo ate my baby.
So yeah, it's quite true. Pig basically plays with 400 APM on dial-up. Like a boss. Let's see what he can do. Playing from Europe here, up against Impact. So far, so good from both players. We have hatches and pools coming down from both in slightly different orders, but will basically turn out to exactly the same thing. And of course, the reason why is because even though Impact got the earlier pool and Pig does have his expansion down earlier, don't forget the earlier pool means the earlier queen and the earlier inject. So it more or less evens out at the end of the day.
Indeed, but at the moment, no aggression coming out for everyone. We're seeing the Overlords are scouting everything, but there's just still very little action at the start of this game. Very similar to... You have two options when you have ZVZ. You have both players go to about 2 bases and then start building stuff and attacking each other, or you have both players attack each other on 1 base and mostly lose.
Now, Impact is taking his gas much later than Pig here. His Overlord has seen that Pig has started Zergling speed already before he finishes his first extractor. So that's just a little bit worthy of note. There is going to be... Oh, unfortunately, a drone getting picked off there from Pig. Unlucky, unable to make that a Spore Crawler at the end of the day. Pig will have the earlier speed. He will be able to get a bit more map presence there. But very nice by Impact to pick off a worker early on. You can see that is the difference, 24 to 23. And here comes the Baneling Nest from Pig. So we are going to be seeing some early game ZVZ Baneling aggression.
Indeed, that Zergling did get picked off in the end. So the act of aggression that it sent down did not go unabated in the end, but was able to, as we said before, pretty much see everything that Pig will do.
Now, Extra Queen coming up just a little bit earlier for Impact here. He's actually going to be making a second Extra Queen as well, so it's now 4 Queens against 2. Pig also, unfortunately, Supply Block losing an Overlord here, and that is going to set him back a bit as well. Spinecrawler going down for Impact, anticipating this earlier aggression because the gas was taken earlier. And Pig, at the moment, he's just going to say, okay, fair enough, lost an Overlord, little bit of momentum out of my attack, I'm going to go straight up to lair.
Indeed, just continuing to macro up for both players here in form of either upgrades or tech, so different preference for both here. And we're seeing the very, very large Zerg wall off with the help of Queens for impact here. I do love to see stuff like that.
Yeah, a couple of Zerglings poking in now, making Impact as defensive as possible. The Spinecrawler getting rerouted. We've got double Evolution Chamber to try and block this off. The Roach Warren coming down as well. But behind this, Pig's actually just non-stop making drones at the moment. If we take a look, he's actually had 42 to 39 workers with the layer about to complete. Where is the Overlord from Impact? Has he spotted that the layer even started? He has not. And Pig's actually be going into incredibly quick Spire. Now, the Overlord here for Pig will know if Impact tries to come into Scout, so there is a possibility that he'd be able to stop the Scout inside the main base. That's really what that Overlord is there to do. Will he be able to surprise his opponent with the Mutas, though?
Indeed. Only the +1 range coming out for Impact, so not getting any armor as of yet, and we still have seen very little aggression.
Yeah, but I think Impact suspects something is going on now, though. He's building a lot of Zerglings. Pig actually sees this with these 4 Lings and his Overlord moving out into the middle of the map, and at this point he's going, oh man, I need basically another 30 seconds or so, maybe another 50 for my Spire to complete, so that I can get those Mutas out on the field.
He has 24 Zerglings on the way to try and defend this. First Spinecrawler is finishing up. Very nice placement of a Evolution Chamber here to reduce any surface area on the Spinecrawler. A very nice hold position from the Queen here. Really nice placement here from Pig, in fact. But his Zerglings are still not finished. Zerglings finally popping out. Not really great position. They are, in fact, walled off by this Queen as well. More zones coming down from the main base. Second Spinecrawler does finish up. Gonna be able to do a lot of damage, but the second Spinecrawler has very low surface area on him, and it's gonna leave a gap here. And the Zerglings would be in if they actually noticed the gap. In fact, they are retreating. A couple did make their way in. They are being chased down with the help of a Queen. There are a couple Banelings here as well, and these Zerglings will be killed off, but everything is scouted. The Spire has been spotted now, and there's a lot more Zerglings coming down. They've dodged the Banelings. The Banelings are going the wrong way. He needs to be so careful. Gets the cancel on that base. These Banelings going to attempt to wrap around and cut off the retreat, but oh, it's getting close. We're seeing the dance of death here. Are there any Banelings on this side? Yes, there are. He's trapped between a rock and a Bane place. He's trying to dance around and get loads. So many went down, but he's in the main base again. There's no Zerglings left.
That's right. This is going to be very, very difficult for him. He might be losing a Queen over here in the main base as well. Pig scrambling back to defend. He's currently supply blocked on 76 out of 76. A lot of Overlords, while we were talking there, by the way, basically went down over here to some of the Queens. And here's Pig's problem. He spent a lot of that gas making Banelings that he otherwise would have wanted to invest in Mutalisks. So now this Muta aggression coming out from Pig has been severely blunted by that attack from Impact. That's exactly what he wanted to do. That said, though, we have got Banelings incoming. Oh. We've got a lot of Zerglings incoming as well, and, well, Impact has to be very careful here.
Indeed, going to attempt to kill off this third base before it can get much done. These Banelings only really killing off 3 Zerglings there. Not
can he get all the
I
queens?
Would consider worth. He could get the Queens, but it's not really going to help. The Banelings are trapped. Could he get them? Gets a couple. Does get a couple. The Zerglings have been forced to retreat, so he gets a tiny bit of counter damage done. And the worker supply is fairly even right now, so it's not looking terrible for Pig, apart from the fact that Impact's base is still up, whereas his is only about halfway done. He is going to get into the main base, and is going to be able to do some damage to a couple workers before these Zerglings are killed off, but the Mutas are out, and Impact is having flashbacks.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to try and pick up as many Overlords as he possibly can. Let's take a look at the vision of Impact. Now, he's actually retreating all of his Overlords to basically above his own creep, which is exactly the right thing to do in this situation. Not wanting to get supply blocked as a result of that. Pig is using his newfound map dominance here with the Mutalisks to double expand. He doesn't want to be too aggressive here. If he doesn't kill the Queens, that's all right. He just needs to not lose the Mutalisks. And the reason he needs to not lose the Mutalisks is because he needs them to keep Impact in his base so he can double expand nice and safe. Maybe overcommitting just a bit there. He's got 8 now, with 2 more on the way. And with these Spore Crawlers here and so many Queens from Impact, I think it'll just be useful to... Oh, lordy,
what's going into it? Where's the other end?
Lordy.
Where's the other end? I want to see what's in it.
This is going to be a lot of fun. He's actually having absolutely none of it. The Nidus network in the middle of the map, basically between his natural and his third base, is about to pop. The Muta's actually spotting it and trying to take it down. He's having to move units back. We have a lot of Roaches and Queens coming through this Nidus network now. Are they going to be able to overrun? They're moving towards the third base. base. There's not going to be much resistance from Pig. He's coming back with the Mutalisk, but it's going to take forever to kill this many
There's
units.
10 Mutas and 4 Roaches. That's not going to be enough to deal with the Queens alone, let alone all of these Roaches coming here from Impact. I'm not seeing how he's going to be able to do this. Mutas coming in. Another Nidusworm is going down. He needs to kill that off so quickly. He's moving in. Queens are beginning to move forward. When the Queens get into this fight, then Pig's in some serious trouble. These Queens will make their way towards the battle here. The Queens are in range, going to be able to launch down a couple shots. Spinecrawlers being built on the top of the ramp. And here we go. Here's the engagement. Transfusers going down on the Roaches. The Mutas taking so much damage right now, but the Roaches are in fact dying thanks to those Spinecrawlers. These Queens need to get more involved. Pig is holding this, but he needs to turn it.
He's holding this. He's got 14 Roaches in production still. He can afford to slowly trade.
Though. The Queens!
This is... as it currently stands, he's holding it, and the third base is still mining through all of this. He's still able to keep the injects up there. There's a couple of Mutas still here, and let's take a look at the transfuse.
Oh no, no escape.
It's
Queens, why are you so slow?
Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think this is a battle that Impact's going to end up winning.
He's actually doing it. He's turning it around. As you said, the third base is still mining. He's going to be able to kill himself. All the Mutas, though, will go down to this. All the transfusers, there's very quickly running out of transfusers. Nice save there on one of those Queens. But down it goes. That was the only one really with transfusers left. And down they go. And Pig now has so much, he's going to run straight to his opponent's base, leaving the Nidusworm unattended.
Yep,
and it's just going to go up and kill it.
And to 77 supply right now.
And I would like to point out, Pig does have that fourth base. It's up. It's not mining, but it is up. So he has a next move from here.
Yeah, he's got the larva. He's basically got all the cards in his favor now. It's worker supply 59 to 53. He has an extra base up, admittedly not mining, but he's got the larva from there. He will be able to spawn a queen from that base as well. His army is just much larger. He's 50 supply ahead, and look at this army of roaches.
34 roaches to 10 currently, plus a muta. This is a very, very deadly force coming. There are only 5 roaches on the way for impact. That's not going to be enough to kill this, really. Here we go. Here could be the fight. There's so many roaches. Down goes the Spinecrawler. Here's the engagement. The Nidusworm could have cost Impact the game here. Engaging into this, the Queens. Not even the energy to transfuse. 2 Zerglings come in from the back, trying to do the damage, but it's not going to be enough. There's the GG, and Pig takes game number 1.
Right, so Exile 5's Pig, ladies and gentlemen, is currently 1-0 up against Axiom's Impact in this best-of-5 series. The winner gets that qualifying ticket to G3 in August, and well, I've got to say that's going to be a pretty big notch up in the confidence of Pig right now. He's doing a tremendous job. He still has 2 more games to win though, and that's not going to work every game.
Indeed, you're not going to be able to pull that kind of stuff off, especially in ZVZ, where very high, very fast aggression builds are so commonplace.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job now, and it looks like we're going to be going into game number 2 very shortly, but we might be going into a little bit of a... No, we're not actually. We're going to go straight into Overgrowth. Alrighty. So, let me see if the players are immediately ready. They just need to host us up, and then we'll be able to get started. So Pig taking a 1-0 advantage, and it looks like the countdown has already begun.
Indeed. So it is going to be Pig versus Axiom Impact on Overgrowth LE. And I'm very excited. Countdown is finished. Map is loading up. I'm very excited. This is actually a very good map for some early aggression styles that a ZVZ can move into.
This is... Okay, so we're into Overgrowth now, guys. Let's definitely talk a little bit more about what kind of plays we might be expecting from these guys on this map very, very shortly indeed. Are we, in fact, even going to see a switch up in style, actually, from one of these guys? I feel like we're going to see Mutas again, but let's talk about why after we take a look at who's in the top right corner. Exile 5, ladies and gentlemen, has spawned as the red Zerg player, and frankly, he's doing a tremendous job so far. Currently 1-0 up in this best-of-5 series. It is Pig. And his opponent in the bottom left, playing for Axiom Esports. Incredibly strong. Almost a little bit surprised that he lost game number 1, perhaps. Trying to come back into the game with the Nidus play, unable to quite make it work. What will he serve us up this time? It is Impact. And we were talking before, Tetra. This is a massively open middle of the map, a lot of decent counter-attacking routes, but there's also a good amount of area for units like Mutas to hide in should they want to fly around and do some harassment. The backs of the bases, for example, are somewhat exposed. It's very difficult to get from the second to the third base and have adequate cover there as well. A lot of strategies are possible here, and it could end up being a really dynamic game.
Indeed, this is actually one of my favourite maps to play as Protoss, because my builds aren't exactly good, because I'm not exactly good myself, but I like to play Free-Gate Robo and build a Warp Prism first, because you can just fly the Warp Prism across the potential free bases and just fly it back and forth and warp in each base, undo the Warp Prism, fly to the next base, warp in more, and just kill off all the workers. This is the kind of stuff that could be happening with Mutas. Just darting from base to base to base, where the army has to react. If there's no static defenses, which is going to be unlikely because these players will be prepared for that kind of stuff, but if they can pick it off, or if the enemy isn't ready, then there's a lot of potential damage there.
You're exactly right. The paths between bases are simply open to a lot more as far as mobile attacks are concerned, and I feel Mutas could end up playing a role here. And we saw Pig already going for the quick Spire in game number 1. Could we be seeing him do it 2 games in a row? Now we've got the Hatch into pool coming out from Pig, and once again we have the pool into Hatch coming out from Impact. They will eventually even out to being approximately the same thing, but this time around we'll be keeping an eye on that gas and whether Pig once again is going to be going for significantly earlier speed than his opponent. He's already mining it, and we can see Impact not changing things up, just focusing on getting that drone count up as quickly as possible.
Indeed, and this is what we're going to see for the first few minutes of pretty much any ZVZ. It's very unlikely that we're going to see too much, unless of course one of the players does decide to go with an absurdly early pool followed by many, many Zerglings, which we're just not seeing these games.
So, how are we feeling on this map? Are we going to see Mutas again from Pig?
I think Mutas. I think we'll see Mutas from one of the players. I just don't know which one. Pig is definitely... Yeah, I don't think it will be both. I think it might become both, but it won't start off as both. It will be a reactionary play to the first map Mutas. I think it is more likely to be Pig because he actually has some gas already, and he is still mining from it.
Yeah, the way Pig plants his openings does lend itself to that kind of early attack play. But bear in mind, Impact will know that this is what's happening as well. It did take him until his massive attack in the previous game to spot that those Mutas were actually incoming. And once again, we see here in game number 2, Impact not taking any of his gases yet, even though speed's already halfway done for Pig. In fact, taking his gases even later. So he's really trying to roll that out as quickly as possible, but Pig going straight in with the Baneling Nest. He absolutely wants to get as much damage done as possible, while Impact is just doing his best to defend early game with these queens.
Indeed, 2 gas will be finishing up very soon for Impact, so he can begin to get Banelings of his own if he wants to. Because it still is only 1 gas here for Pig with the Baneling Nest is fairly interesting to me.
Yeah, he's got just the one while he gets up to layer, and also note, by the way, that there are no overlords from Impact on the right-hand side of the map, so it's going to take him forever and a day to scout that the layer's already started. Pig should be taking his gases relatively shortly if he is indeed going into that Spire-based play. Layer currently about halfway done, and a massive round of drones now completing. We have, well, 2 Evo Chambers on the Roachborn again. This looks like a pretty similar opening this time. Pig currently on 39 workers to 32, and Impact getting ready for a little bit of defense.
Indeed, that Baneling Nest was cancelled.
Yep,
the one we saw earlier.
Yeah, he's decided not to actually go for the aggression this time around, and maybe... I mean, last time he went for the aggression, the counterattack from the Roaches really set him back a little bit before he started winning in the late game. So,
there's the Spire.
Yep, he's going to try and just get this over with as quickly as possible. And, well, while Impact's ready being defensive, let's see if there's a situation here where Impact might be able to get a bunch of Roaches out and really quickly attack. He's got 7 Roaches and Zergling speed incoming. The Spire is only 30 out of 100 seconds in production for Pig. He's going to have to react with other units, and indeed, he's got the Roachborn going down now, but look at this, 11 already in production. Has Impact found a timing here that will just stop Pigs in its tracks? And you know what? Given the number of spine crawlers that are currently going down, I think Pig realizes this might happen.
Indeed, I would not be surprised. We're about to find out very shortly. Zergling's all running back to the base as well because he needs everything he can to defend against this. 16 Zerglings also on the way for impact to try and do as much damage as possible. 22 Lings on the way for Pig. 10 of them did just pop. Spire will be finished, so we will be seeing a couple Mutas in this fight to try and help defend. But Pig is more than ready to defend this, but the question is, will he succeed?
Now, Pig needs to hold on until he gets those mutas in. Are we going to see some spine crawlers move towards the front line as well? These ones in the back aren't currently doing too much. And here we go. The Zergling's coming out to engage the mutas with spine crawler support, but there are Lings of his own coming out from impact. Ooh, this is going to be close, but I think the spine crawlers are doing a lot of damage.
Indeed, but pretty much everything from Pig did go down there. It's only the spine crawlers that were keeping him alive there. But Impact has realized he's not going to get the kill here and is instead retreating. 8 mutas are about to pop. But throughout all of that, we have made the obvious choice here that Pig did end up building a buttload of spine crawlers, which aren't going to be too useful except protecting against run-bys and helping protect that third base. And here come the mutas. Those queens, bit out of position.
Yeah, massively, massively offside there, and now we're going to see a lot of overlords getting taken out as well. There are no fewer than 4 overlords here that these mutas are going to be able to pick up, and that's going to be a decent win for Pig off the back of this. There are a lot of Lings here trying to go for a run-by to force the third to cancel, because Impact wants to be able to have these additional lava and potential extra mining before Pig can do anything about it. Will they force the cancel before the mutas get there? At the moment, it certainly looks like they can.
Mutas are there. Glaive Worm's going to help severely with the bounce, but it's not going to happen. Gets the cancel, gets the drone. Ooh, very close there, but does get the drone in the end. And these Zerglings and Roaches, and the spine crawlers, of course, will stop these Zerglings from getting too far into the main base.
Pig now knows, because the third has been cancelled, he wants to try and stop the third from impact coming up as well. He's going to come in with the mutas, but he probably wants a little bit of Ling and Roach support if he actually wants to take out this third base. So far, though, he's doing a good job of overpopulating him, and oh dear, Overlord farm once again. Going to be able to scout around the spore crawl and see if he can pick off a couple
so
of
many
workers.
Spore crawlers.
There's a ridiculous
very good reactions here from Impact, not having any of this muta shenanigan, and is just throwing down spore crawlers everywhere he can. There are none at the third base yet.
He's got a mining third. The worker supply is currently equal. A fourth base is now being taken from Pig. So once again, he's expanding twice, although bear in mind this third has been delayed a bit, in response to him gaining that map control with the Mutalisks. It's a little bit more difficult to contain Impact on this map, but you can see constantly a couple of Lings moving in, seeing what Pig is doing, and none of this is going to come as a surprise.
Indeed, and these Zerglings will once again be picked off. Going to attempt to make it to the main base and have once again run into the exact same spines as last time. Not the brightest Zerglings they are, haven't really learned.
Oh, but a lot of units going down here at the natural expansion. It's a spore crawler free zone at the moment. And like you said earlier, Tetcher, this could be a phase of the game where it's just going to be incredibly easy to bounce between bases with those Mutalisks, picking off yet another Overlord there, and just simply moving away from the Queens when he feels like it. A lot of workers have gone down 10-1 at the moment in Pig's favor, and we're going Overlord farming for the second time today.
Indeed, Impact is going to be having the flashbacks from the last game. He is supply blocked, but... Oh no, he isn't supply blocked at the moment, but he is getting very, very close to it. Oh my god. Oh, doing the dance of death. And they're in the main base, there's nothing left.
And he's going to try and target down the layer by the looks of things. There are some roaches that are going to come here and put a stop to that. I don't think they can take out the layer fast enough. And we have more harassment coming in towards the third. This might be make or break.
The roaches have been pulled away. Here come the mutas as well. Going to try and focus on these queens to try and remove any kind of transfuses for when the roaches come back. Trying to kill them off as quick as possible. Down goes the last queen.
Beautiful.
Roaches have arrived, but there's very few of Pig's roaches left. More coming in for the reinforcements, but impacts are all so spread out right now. Spore crawler being burrowed down. The mutas being pulled back slightly, but there's going to be possibly 1 or 2 shots left. Pig retreating through his mutas to try and get the damage off. A spine crawler also being moved forward. All defense being moved to that main base, to that third base, but we all know that that means there could be very easy pick-off zones in the main and the natural expansion.
Yeah, the third base hasn't gone down yet, don't forget, and while the fourth base is up for Pig, he's still only mining out of 3, so he hasn't realized this advantage, even though he's about 40 supply ahead. He will be able to now, though, and that's really the key. The mutas continue to hold that map dominance for him. Impact has a couple of units moving out across, but really nothing that's going to put a dent in Pig's aspirations here. And Pig is looking in a very, very strong position now. Hydralisk then coming into the mix as well.
Indeed, now he's finally built some overlords, so he can actually begin droning up his expansions to try and get ahead of Impact as much as possible. And Impact just can't expand right now. He's being blocked at every angle. He's going to try and creep in that direction to try and get some vision, but oh no! The Queen's caught out again. He's going to try and take down the Spore Crawler. Not going to be able to get it in time without taking significant losses. Muta's going to be coming in, seeing if he can pick this off. He's taking the fight to hold the Roaches in the position. More Roaches coming in for the reinforcement. More Roaches going into the main base to try and do some counter-harassment. Mutas haven't actually joined the fight yet. It's just Roach versus Roach right now, and Pig is once again winning. Drones have been pulled. Trying to defend this. Mutas are doing something in the middle of the map. But these drones have been pulled to try and help this. Workers going down. It's currently 17 workers killed by Pig to 1 by Impact. A lot of units have been killed here. If he can kill off that Spore Crawler, then these Mutas can come in and help so much right now. So many workers are going down. Please kill off that Spore Crawler, Pig. I really want to see it go down so the Mutas can come help. But instead, he's just going to kill as many workers and as many Roaches as possible.
I'm not sure it's going to matter at this point, though. He is up almost 100 supply. 167 versus 71 says that Pig is going to get within one game of a G3 qualifying spot right now.
He's attacking at every angle. Mutas literally just flew in to the main base / natural expansion, and they're dancing back and forth between them. Currently in the natural expansion, going to be able to take out even more workers. We're at 30 workers killed at the moment. There's the GG, and Pig is now 2-0 against Axiom Impact.
What a game number 2. We said at the beginning of that game that the architecture of the map will lend itself to the Mutas, and Pig absolutely made that work. You saw the cancelled Baneling Nest. We didn't go into that super early game aggression. He banked on trying to get his army out by building those 6 spine crawlers early on in the game, going, hang on a second, Impact has a great timing here with Roaches that I absolutely have to defend against in order for me to get my Mutas out. And then after that, you saw the game plan was frighteningly similar to game number 1. Get that map control with the Mutas. Do as much harassment as you can. Even when he wasn't killing drones, he was pulling the Queens left, right, and center and picking off Overlords. And double expand behind it and keep a hold of those bases. Just a very, very strong game from Pig on a map that I thought really favored this strategy.
Indeed. Perfect strategy for the map, able to react to it. The Mutas, perfect dancing back and forth, as we saw there, as we did call. Very, very cool to watch.
Yeah, that was actually fantastic to watch. Pig really clinical there. And now, let's turn the tables a little bit. Your Impact. You are used to doing ridiculously well in tournaments. You have played against some of the world's best players in the GSL and elsewhere. Yes, he's 2-0 down in a best of 5, but this guy is on Axiom for a reason. He reached a DreamHack finals for a reason, and it's because he is capable of soaking up this pressure and moving on. The way things are being played, is it possible Pig can 3-0? Absolutely, but I don't think Impact is just going to sit there and fall apart. I think he's going to come back fighting, and I'm really excited to see this game number 3. It's going to be on merry-go-round.
Indeed, and as much as I'd like to say that Impact will pull out a cheese to try and make it a very surprise move against Pig, I think we're still going to see a very similar game to the one we have last time.
Yeah, I think Impact is confident in his abilities as a player to a point where he doesn't feel he'll need to. To be honest, Impact playing at his best can take apart so many good Zerg players, and Pig is one of them. So, could he? Yes, but I'm going to echo your sentiments here and say I don't think there's a real need, especially on a 3-player map where it's not 100% certain where they're going to spawn. But we'll find out in just a moment, ladies and gents. We're into the game now, and spawning in the 6 o'clock position as the Red Zerg player, playing for Exile 5, currently playing from the My Insanity team house in Switzerland. He is 2-0 up in this best of 5 series. He is Pig. And he's playing against the Team Axiom player, with his back against the wall, but with the match experience to be able to come out of this. And looky,
yes!
Looky here. You called it, mate. It doesn't...
Caster's
curse strikes
again.
On that as well. As Impact goes for the early pull in the 10 o'clock position. Now, he still doesn't know where Pig has spawned, and he needs to get this Overlord pretty toot sweet over to the top right-hand corner.
What supply was that? Was that 6 or 7?
I believe that was 7.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so happy. Pig's not going to know.
8, pardon me, yeah.
Pig's not going to know.
Yeah. And, well, Pig's not necessarily going to expect this.
He is going to scout that first, though. First Overlord will make it to Impact space. The question is, can he react in time?
Well, he's got the pull first. Pig isn't going for the hatch first. He's going for the pull.
He never does. Same build every time.
Exactly, and I think...
The question is, will he build a hatch from here? That is where it can go so wrong. If he saves up and builds a hatch from here, then it will go horribly.
He's He's gone into gas. I feel like he might be okay.
The speed.
We'll keep
This
an eye out.
Overlord will see these Zerglings running past. I'm almost positive. In fact, yeah, it will. Is now over the natural expansion. Let's have a look from this Overlord's view, and oh,
Oh, there we go.
those are Zerglings.
Yep. He knows
I've just
exactly
built a
what's going on.
hatchery.
He has just built a hatchery
And there it
he cancels.
goes.
There we go. But he has got the spawning pool about to complete inside the main base, and well, I mean, he's got 3 drones on gas. He'll be able to
He
start
has enough
speed
time
soon
to build
as well.
a spine crawler as well if he wants to. He doesn't have the money for it though, having to build. Oh,
No,
he
he's
has
got it.
actually.
It's
Where is
behind
it?
the
Oh, there
mineral
it
line.
is.
Yep, so he's got it. The Zerglings are about to pop in, but there are 4 lings of his own coming out now, and I'm not sure this can work for Impact. 4 lings on their
No,
own.
I think it's done.
Yeah, the defensive lings are basically popping now, and I think Pig is safe. I think
Indeed.
he's
Nice,
okay.
interesting stop command there from Pig, though. That was interesting. He's building speed as well. That's how confident he is here. He's gonna dance. He's gonna try and stay away here. Spine crawler's about to finish up. Drones being pulled as well, and Zerglings are dying here. More Zerglings are pouring in. Workers are being built. The spine crawler has been unburrowed, and it's running towards the front line with a message that simply says, "Get wrecked, Impact." The Queen has been brought into the fight as well. It's currently 4 Zerglings and a Queen, and what is about to be a spine crawler versus many, many Zerglings. But I'm not seeing how it's going to go. The only way Impact's going to be able to get away with this is if he can somehow find a way past this impenenetrable wall
And even if
get
he does,
into the mineral line.
he's only 2 Zerglings up, and he's up against a Queen as well.
And
This
he's
is just
very low on health for all of his Zerglings, whereas
Yeah.
Pigs are almost all full health. I'm really surprised we haven't seen... There's a Baneling Nest in production. If he can stay alive, there's a chance he can do it.
The
But
longer these
Speed's
lings dance
about to
around,
finish.
though. Yeah, the Speed's about to finish, and there's a Queen here as well.
And
I
the
just
Baneling
don't.
Nest has just been started.
I honestly don't see this working for Impact.
I think it's done. I think he's literally just boned himself right here, right now, going into this corner. Here come the Zerglings surround. Going to try and trap him as many as possible. Down goes another Zergling. 6 more
Excellent.
are in production. Pig is playing this perfectly. He's just
Excellent
chasing this
micro.
down. There's the speed! And down go the last few Zerglings. If we don't see GG called here, I will be quite surprised. Here comes the counterattack. 6 Zerglings are in production for the defense. We will see Banelings being morphed as a defensive measure to try and keep Impact in this game. But, yeah, it's 26 supply to 30 at the moment. Let's have a look at the worker count quickly. We have 17 to 20. Pig is ahead in every way at the moment.
No, we've got Banelings on the ramp. He has to be careful.
Oh
That was
my
an excellent
God.
first hit there, and I think with that, actually, Impact has basically bought the right to transition into a normal game. There
has.
are additional links coming out here from Pig, but he does have to retreat those. He does have his natural expansion down earlier, but Banelings, as we all know, can turn the tide of the game in pretty much an instant. So Pig's going to have to play this a little bit more careful. I don't think he's going, right, I can just win this game right now anymore.
Don't blame him anymore.
And but
ZVZ.
he's still in a decent position. I mean, the worker supply is basically equal. It's still a little bit of time before speed actually completes for Impact, so we can't exactly be too aggressive just yet, because Pig does have Banelings of his own, and Pig has the earlier expansion. So very dynamic game, lots to play for here, but Pig can still be happy with where he is.
Indeed, Pig has control of the center of the map. He's keeping as much as possible, but there are Zerglings just charging past all this. They ran past a Baneling there. If Pig had blown that up, that would have been spectacular.
that
But
Baneling
oh
at the
no,
top.
there's only one Zergling. Oh, do not want. Oh, there's the dance. There is now one Zergling in the mineral line of Pig here. Walking in. Oh my ZVZ, man, I love it so much. We're now seeing Pig chase Impact back to his base. Both players have speed, so we're not going to see too much. But there are Banelings out on the map for Pig. If he can catch out some reinforcements here, then he's going to have such a good time. Oh, here we go. Here are Pig's Banelings. 2 more also being morphed as well. Impact choosing not to run out too far. He doesn't want this to happen again.
It looks like they're purely defensive at the moment. Impact is about to complete that particular hatchery, whereas Pig is already mining from his natural. He's got the spine crawler rooted there as well. Worker supply, surprisingly even, just 26 to 25 in favor of Impact, but of course Pig will have a slightly earlier production there. Lots of defensive Banelings here from both players, to be honest, and I don't really see either one winning unless ridiculous Baneling hit is about to happen. Wow, 6 Banelings coming in though.
This is actually turning out quite interesting for Pig. Banelings moving into the main base. 2 still alive, heading into the mineral field.
Oh, this could be big.
Workers being split only takes down 2. 2 more are heading in there, but there are now many Zerglings. Oh, there's now no Zerglings in the in the natural expansion. There is. Oh my
11
God.
workers killed versus 0, but
We need to
Impact
shush.
could change that. A couple of sneaky banelings over here inside the main base. There's a single Zergling in this mineral line. Okay, the Queen will
Alright,
be able to take
I'm
care
going to
of
bring
that.
up the workers killed tab.
Yep.
11 workers
Here
killed
we
currently.
go.
We're just going to let this happen.
Will Pig
dun.
realize a lot of lings coming
Dun,
out?
dun.
He could try and sack them.
Dun,
The
dun,
Queen's
dun,
trying
dun.
to come in.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh,
Okay,
maybe?
good hit.
No.
Second hit.
He
Number
got
workers killed
2.
3. Look at how many drones are in the red, but not that many workers killed at
One
the moment.
Zergling is going to go in there and get a multi kill right
That
now.
is possible, actually. Monster kill. That is basically this situation
They are all
waiting to
healing
happen.
though, so it is fine.
All right, so the game is somewhat normalizing here with Pig once again at an advantage over Impact. Pig just playing some fantastic ZVZ today with some great micromanagement and control. More banelings coming in. He wants to go for round 2. He has to be aware of counterattacks. A couple of lings moving up, though. And if they just bypass this spine crawl, they could actually get those kills in the main base we were talking about. Ooh, good baneling hit there, preventing that from happening. But now, Impact has troubles at home to worry about. How much damage has that done? Not an incredible amount. Now, what will these lings do?
Indeed, these lings are currently going to retreat to the spine crawler, try and bait Impact in to try and make him lose as many to the spine crawler as possible. But currently, this is a very interesting game. Both
Impact has to do damage with
he
this,
has
though,
to.
Tetra. He's got 18 workers versus 37 of Pig right now. The longer this goes on, the more comfortable
trying
Pig
to
is.
see
And
the bait.
oh, he
Oh
wasn't
my
watching.
God.
And I can't help but feel that that might be the baneling hit that basically makes this a lot easier for Pig here. There are roaches out as well.
There it
GG! And wowzers, Pig, ladies and gentlemen, is through with a ticket to G3 with a 3-0 victory over Axiom's Impact. That is nothing to laugh about. Impact is an incredibly strong competitor. He played really well getting to the finals, and then, to be honest, he played quite well in some of the games in the finals as well. But Pig really outshining him in ZVZ here. Very impressive from the Australian.
Absolutely. Loving banelings in general at the moment. But we've seen Pig here show his prowess with muters. We've seen him show his prowess with just the early game defense. We've seen him show his prowess with very good sneak attack banelings. Impact. So the few games that we watched earlier, some of them were incredibly spectacular and incredibly good. But that was just so good.
Pig really showing his versatility there as well. Because, don't forget, game number 1, we had the initial baneling pressure going into Mutalisk. Game number 2, cancelling the baneling nest, and admittedly having to make those emergy spines over there in the natural expansion, holding out until he could get to that position where he can dominate the map in the mid-game. And then game 3, absolutely going out with that early game aggression, transitioning into approximately a lot of banelings. Incredible stuff from him, and that's